calls himself the face of greatness.
Weighing in at 215 pounds, campaigning for a brighter future in wrestling.
Why don't you just sit here and let us admire it?
Koda Jacobs.
And we've talked about arrogance a few times here, Zach, but there's not one man that I've met in the history of this business that's as arrogant as this young man right here. Now, I'll admit, he's as talented as everybody, and as you can see, he's making the official lower the rope for him to come into the ring.
Why wasn't the official over there to begin with? I mean, for goodness sake, you want to sit here and talk about arrogance, and I don't even think you understand what we're talking about here. This man is here to make a brighter future in wrestling, and he's about to speak to us.
Well, let's hear what he's got to say.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Koda Jacobs, the innovator, the crusader, the pioneer, and the visionary behind the most monumental movement in professional wrestling today, the campaign for a brighter future in wrestling. And, excuse me.
Did we let out the alcohol early for the pre-show? These people are absolutely just so
The
disrespectful.
microphone, therefore I'm the only one who should be speaking right now. Now, before we begin, I need to address all of you in this room that though my opponents this evening, my opponent, are familiar to the area perhaps from the economically depressed, crime-ridden West Duluth sector of this abomination of a community. And the little blonde sidewalk slew he who comes out here with Ringo. You perhaps may be tempted to adore them, to cheer them, but I want everybody in this room to be on the same page. I will not tolerate such reaction, and instead you all collectively will cheer for a man who exudes dignity, respect, and integrity here in Discover Pro Wrestling, Koda Jacobs.
Oh, come on.
What are you talking about? That was the most regal thing I've ever heard. I want to stand up right now for this man.
Well, I think he went too far there, what he said about Ringo.
Who's opponent here for Koda
It's one of the pillars of this.
from West Duluth, Minnesota. He weighs in at 175 pounds. Accompanying to the ring, Ringo. This is the ace of the underground, ARLEN.
Well, we've got Arlen and we've got Ringo. They're the hometown kids. And Ringo was just given flowers from a fan here in the front row. And we know who everybody here is going to be cheering for. He made his DPW debut at DPW 2. And he's been rising up the ranks here in the Midwest wrestling scene. And everybody's excited to see these two.
Everyone, is that really what we're going to go with?
Well, I'm just judging by the reaction of the crowd here. They're happy to see these guys.
Did you not listen to Koda Jacobs? We are clearly on the west side of this city. So clearly this guy here, who looks like he's a reject out of a Spencer's, there's my goodness. And then of course he's got, what was her name again?
Ringo.
Are we missing a Beatle here?
Well, all I know is that we've got the crowd cheering for Arlen right now. Koda Jacobs still hasn't put that campaign sign down, and I hope our official this evening is keeping an eye on that because he likes to use that campaign sign for things other than campaigning.
You're concentrating on that and not the fact that that probably $100 jacket is just is just being tossed around now, Al, because guess what? There is much more to be done here.
Go ahead, do your job, ref.
Well, be that as it may, we've got a matchup to get started here. We've got the ace of the underground, ARLEN, hometown kid from West Duluth. He was trained by a familiar face you might be aware of, Eugene, from WWE fame.
Well, that seems to definitely come off a little bit.
No.
And you mentioned West Duluth as being where these two are from. Ringo, in fact, was the one-time Miss West Duluth, believe it or not.
Well, I think that speaks volumes right there. Nothing else needs to be said.
Well, one thing I will say is I know DPW owner Eric Nordrum has saw a lot of potential in Ringo, in this young lady. He sent her to Iowa. He's been being trained by Austin Fouts, one half of Flex Appeal, which everybody's familiar with here in DPW. And now she's here in ringside, and here we go. We got to lock up right in the center of the ring.
No one's denying that Ringo has potential here in DPW. I just don't necessarily know that it's helping anyone at home listening for you to mention that she was Miss West Duluth.
Well, I think she's pretty proud of that statement, and I think the people here in good Duluth would be proud of that as well. And now Koda Jacobs showing some of that arrogance we talked about with a palm in the face. I don't think he really respects this young man.
Koda Jacobs doesn't need to have respect for ARLEN. Koda Jacobs is on a mission. He is on a crusade. It is a campaign, mind you.
Right hand, and maybe he respects that because ARLEN knocking Koda Jacobs down in the early going. He's got him in the corner. A stomp. And to the other side with a forearm right in the chest. And he's working Koda Jacobs over.
ARLEN with a fury to start this match. Adrenaline taking over.
Absolutely, boot to the stomach. And Koda Jacobs trying to get out of that, trying to get out of harm's way, but he goes into the other corner and he's not getting himself out of harm's way at all, and now he's gonna pay the price. Head goes into the turnbuckle here. And I think these fine people of West Duluth here are pleased with what they're seeing so far.
Well, the people of West Duluth, I don't think have ever seen a tie that expensive, and they just don't seem to appreciate what they're watching.
And Jacobs so far has been bouncing around here like a basketball, and a splash into the corner, and down goes Jacobs. And we got a cover, 2.
Kick out there by Koda Jacobs.
Underneath and a knee right to the chest there, and we got Jacobs now reeling here. He just cannot get himself, that might be the break he needs. He's gonna grab the ropes, he's gonna give himself a break here.
Get into your job, ref, he's in the ropes.
And Jacobs definitely needed that moment. He definitely was caught by surprise here in the early going.
He's still on the ropes. What are we doing here?
Oh, he raked him in the eyes. Raked him right across the eyes. Our official did not see it. And, oh my goodness! Face first into the second turnbuckle. Ringo's coming over to check on ARLEN. That was nasty.
Face first off the middle turnbuckle. And now Koda Jacobs gonna teach these people what a brighter future of wrestling is.
Well, you might be right, but one thing I know is that was a momentum changer for sure when ARLEN's face bounced off the second turnbuckle, and now we've got Koda Jacobs in control.
Koda Jacobs is just a man sitting here, and he's just looking to give you his knowledge, all of it. And these people who, again, I don't understand the stench in here. I'm a little worried about you and your health. Can we get production up here to get a simple test done?
Now we got a cover. And a quick kick out. I think ARLEN is still feeding off the adrenaline. I know he wants to win this matchup badly in front of his hometown. And Jacobs still with the upper hand. Stomp to the stomach.
You seem to fancy yourself a journalist, or so you claim to be. I actually did some work before this, as I was able to get to my sources. And my sources tell me this guy used to drive a dump truck.
Well, he's a blue-collar worker, and he's working pretty hard right now in the ring. He's got a sleeper hold applied.
So you're telling me that these people would rather have a trash man over a man who's trying to give them a brighter future?
Jaw jacker there, reversal.
Why else are we here? but for a brighter tomorrow.
Well, I'll tell you what, they love this kid Arlen, whether he was a trash man or not. One thing we're seeing right now is Koda Jacobs, so to speak, is taking out the trash right now with Arlen.
Koda Jacobs looks like he's ready for a photo shoot. The headshots would go very, very highly around here.
Well, speaking of headshots, I want to let the DPW crowd know that we're gonna get your chance to get your favorite DPW superstars headshots right down on the mezzanine, right below our balcony here, right at the intermission after Apex. And now we've got Jacobs with a reverse chin lock applied. He's got it cinched in pretty darn good right now. Arlen trying to turn over onto his knee and get back to a vertical base. He's done it already. And here come the elbows now.
Arlen working his way out of it here.
And not so fast as Koda Jacobs. Handful of hair. He didn't like the way it felt, and now we got a cover. Or not. Right hand and now a cover.
Would you look at the hair on this guy? You wouldn't want to touch that either.
Well, you got to know when you get into a wrestling ring, you're going to be touching some sweat, you're going to be touching some hair. It's just what comes with the territory.
The biggest way to know that a brighter future is on our way is that Koda Jacobs is in there doing the dirty work for us. We don't have to do anything.
Well, right now he's got the upper hand in this matchup and another elbow driving down into the chest of Arlen. And the one thing you can't deny is Arlen's got heart. They don't call him the ace of the underground for no reason. He identifies with that blue-collar worker. He identifies with the regular Joe, and that's why these people love him.
According to my sources, he also identifies being a part of a vaping commercial. Oh, I was actually told by my sources that he was cast as the after photo of what happens if you vape.
Well, I can't confirm that. I haven't seen anything myself, but now we've got Koda Jacobs off the ropes and looking for the big elbow, and Arlen rolls out of the way just in time. And that could be the window that Arlen needed now to get back on top in this matchup. Both men trying to gain composure here. Arlen with a boot to the chin of Jacobs. Here he comes again. Oh my goodness.
What a shot under the chin of Jacobs.
Here he comes. Oh wow. Turned him inside out in a cover. No, he's going to reel him into the ring. Two. Didn't get him. That was close though.
Koda Jacobs right back on the attack, understanding that he can't let Arlen for a second try to get back the momentum he had earlier in the match.
Well, whether you like him or you hate him, you can't deny the fact that Koda Jacobs is heavily skilled inside the squared circle. But the one thing that I admire about his work in the ring is he stays on top of that opponent once that winning streak starts. But this right here is his downfall. The arrogance. He's showing the fans his campaign sign, which he strutted around the ring with earlier.
What is Ringo doing up on the ring apron?
We've got Ringo. And she's trying to make sure that Jacobs puts that ring sign or that campaign sign away, excuse me.
You have to do your job. There's a person on the apron who's not a part of the match.
Sure. He's trying to, she's getting, good for her. Good for Ringo.
That should be a disqualification.
In a roll up. Two. He just got the shoulder up. That was close. Oh, and Ringo almost went into the side of the ring. She's going to get out of the way now. That's a good idea. Our official making sure that she's out of harm's way. And, oh no, a low blow.
Referee.
Koda Jacobs with the low blow.
Referee didn't
Not
see
this
it.
way. Not this. No. Koda Jacobs wins this matchup with a low blow. You gotta be kidding me.
What do you mean I'm kidding you? Koda Jacobs wins, and clearly now DPW gets a brighter future. It's already brighter in here.
Well, the story of this matchup is that damn campaign sign. I knew it was gonna come into play. Koda Jacobs was gonna use that campaign sign.
The story of the match, Nick, seems to be that Spirit Valley's finest, as I like to refer to themselves, couldn't get their act together, and she clearly was a distraction. Koda Jacobs just won a match, 2-on-1, and you're sitting here, you're talking down about a man who's trying to give a brighter future to this company and to the man who owns it.
Well, Ringo Ringo did not insert herself in this matchup. The only thing she did was actually, if you really want to argue about this one, Zach, she helped Koda Jacobs not get disqualified, but in the end, the fact that Ringo was on the outside distracted the official and gave Koda Jacobs the ability to go down low and pick up the victory here at DPW 3, our final match on Apex.
As she walks back, if she really wants to learn about wrestling, maybe Koda Jacobs should be the person showing her a brighter way.